This is Jill Pack with the Seasons of Joy podcast. This is episode number 92 entitled The Power of the Pause. Are you a woman of faith who is struggling to navigate your current season of life? Do you feel like life is just happening to you instead of for you? My name is Jill Pack. I'm a certified life coach and a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I want you to know that no matter your season or circumstance, it is possible to create a more joyful life. And I would love to show you how. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the podcast and to 2024. I hope that you all had a wonderful holiday season. Before I get started today, I wanted to make one more plug for my upcoming Season of Connection group that will be starting next week on Tuesday, January 9th. It is a 6-week group on creating greater connections in our relationships. Do you wish you felt more connection in your relationship with your husband now that you're empty nesters? Or do you wish you felt more connection in your relationship with your adult children, even though they have stepped away from the faith that you love? Do you wish you felt more connection in your relationship with yourself now that you are in the mid-season of life? If this sounds like you, please join us for the 6 weeks of learning and coaching on any relationship that you're struggling with. All you have to do is click the link in the show notes to learn more. The doors are going to be closing this Friday, January 12th at midnight. It's only $30, which is a steal for what you're going to be getting. And I'm not going to be offering this for this price again. So don't wait. Come and join me as we work together to create greater connection in our relationships. Now on to this week's episode. Recently, I was pondering on the idea of reacting versus responding, and I believe the difference between the two is the pause. Viktor Frankl said, quote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom," unquote. When you use that space after a stimulus to pause, we give ourselves room to respond instead of reacting. Now, I don't know about you, but in the past, I've found myself writing down the same goals from year to year. Many of them were things I believed I needed to have as goals. And each January, I would beat myself up because I hadn't reached my, quote, goals. And I want to invite you to consider the beginning of this new year as a space to pause, not necessarily to create more resolutions or more goals. Instead of moving into 2024 with the same reactions or the same repurposed resolutions we had in 2023, let's pause and give ourselves some room to consider how we'd like to respond this year on purpose. I'm going to be revisiting what I call the pause principle. This has 3 components: pausing to process, to ponder, and to protect. If you go back to episode 2, 3, and 4, I go into detail on the pause principle, but I want to revisit it today. The first step of the pause principle is pausing to process. As you reflect on this past year, what are some of the negative emotions that come up for you that maybe you haven't allowed yourself to feel or you haven't had time to feel? The sadness, the grief, the frustration, or the disappointment you may feel because things didn't go the way you thought they would in 2023. Don't just beat yourself up because you feel those emotions. You have good reason for feeling the way you do. But for this discussion, I invite you to let yourself feel what you feel as you reflect on the past year. Your emotions are not going to hurt you. They're actually trying to tell you and teach you something. They can be your greatest teachers. However, when we don't process our emotions, that is exactly when we are more likely to react in a way that we probably won't be proud of later. Here's an example. Let's say you look back at 2023 and you feel sad because your adult child has chosen to leave the faith you raised them in and that you love. Of course, you feel sad about this. It makes sense that you do. However, you haven't really processed the sadness. You may be stuck in it and may even possibly be wallowing in the sadness. Or you may have moved into anger because you don't want to be sad anymore. As you reflect on the interactions from the past year, you can see how this unprocessed feeling of sadness or of anger have affected the relationship you have with this child. So let's just pause to process. Let's just pause to feel sad right now. Let it be there. Open up to this feeling and observe it. What are you feeling? Where is it in your body? What does it feel like in your body? What color is it? Is it hot or is it cold? Is it heavy or is it light? Is it soft or is it sharp? Is it moving or is it holding still? And it might not be sadness or anger that you're feeling. Whatever the emotion is for you, I invite you to feel it. Be with it. Again, at the end of the day, this emotion will not hurt you. It is simply a vibration in your body because of something you're believing. It doesn't feel great, but it is the very thing that will help you move through this experience and on to something that will serve you better. So that is the first step. Process those emotions that maybe you haven't allowed yourself to feel because of things that occurred or didn't occur last year. Okay, once we've processed, allowed ourselves to feel whatever we're feeling, then we want to move on to pausing to ponder. Many of us run on autopilot. I know I did for a long time. We just keep doing what we've always done without questioning why. Or we may believe that our environment, our culture, our family, and our boss are causing us to not have the life we want. In either case, we are not pausing to ponder what we really want or don't want in our life. We are reacting to our life. Whether we're doing it on purpose or not, we all create what we do or don't have in our lives right now. Now, this isn't about blaming ourselves, but it's about taking responsibility. This is so empowering. If we are the ones creating what we have right now in our lives, we have the power to create something different when we are ready to. So to me, pausing to ponder is about getting curious and asking questions about what I want to create moving forward. Asking questions can help me to begin living my life instead of just surviving my life. So here are some questions that you could consider as you move into 2024. In the coming year, what values and priorities are important to me? In the coming year, what kind of person do I want to be? In the coming year, how can I be an example of what is possible? In the coming year, what beliefs do I need to let go of that no longer serve me? In the coming year, what beliefs can I choose to practice that will help me move toward the person I want to become? In the coming year, how can I be an influence for good in the world? Right? Here are a couple of things I've been pondering. First, I want to be the kind of person who takes care of my body because I honor it for all that it has done for me all these 55 years of living. When I practice believing this, I actually feel grateful. And this helps me take action to take care of my body because I love and honor it, not because I think I have to or that I'll be better in some way. The second thing I pondered on is I want to be an example of what is possible. My word for the year is possibilities. It is possible to continue to grow a new business at the age of 55. I believe it's possible to have a beautiful relationship with my adult children, even though they have stepped away from the faith I love. It is possible that loving myself more helps me love others better. And I believe it's possible to have boundaries that are loving and kind. It is possible that it's never too late to learn new things. So taking the time to ask ourselves questions and then pondering on them helps us invite intention and purpose into our lives. Now, this awareness that comes from asking these questions is an important first step. But what happens after we've figured out what we intentionally want to create in our lives? How do we live on purpose? This is the final piece of the pause principle, and it is this: pause to protect. Once we get clear on our values, priorities, and desires, we need to pause to consider how to live in a way that protects our intentions. And I'm going to share with you 3 ways that I think you can pause to protect. Number 1, look to the future. Looking to the future to create more of what you want is powerful. So often we try to create from the past, but the past beliefs haven't been able to get us where we want to go. If they did, we would already be there. We need to start creating from the future. Accomplishing something we've never been able to achieve before needs to come from a place of possibilities which lies in the future. For example, when I was struggling in a certain relationship a few years ago, I told myself that I didn't know how to move forward. I didn't know where to start. It felt overwhelming, and so I just wallowed in the sadness and the frustration. But when I thought about why I wanted a different relationship with this person, I decided I wanted to protect my purpose, protect the values that encourage me to share love and kindness, protect the person that I wanted to be in this relationship, protect the goodness that I wanted to share. So I took the next step, and then the next step, and the next step towards a stronger relationship. Number 2, start saying no. What do you need to start saying no to in your life? Now, this can definitely include eliminating activities that are not helping you reach your goal. Doing this is great, and it can allow you to create more space in your life for what you want to create more intentionally. But I am also suggesting that it includes more than that. It means saying no to being the victim of your story. It means saying no to putting other people in charge of your emotions. It means saying no to showing up in your life reactionary and not in line with who you want to be. It means saying no to believing you are not enough. Saying no to playing small in your life. It means saying no to blaming others or shaming yourself. When I realized that feeling, that never-ending loop of self-pity and frustration wasn't helping me create more joy in my life, I decided that I needed to start saying no. I had to say no to the belief that people should believe, think, feel, or do what I thought they should. I had to start saying no to the idea that the reason I was feeling those negative feelings was someone else's fault. I needed to start saying no to the idea that there was something wrong with me. I had to start saying no to resisting, reacting, and avoiding my emotions. I had to say no to the adversary who was trying to convince me that I wasn't good enough. And I had to say no to not showing up as the person I wanted to be. By saying no to these things, we can start saying yes to what we really want, which leads me to number 3. Start saying yes. What do you need to start saying yes to in your life? Are you ready to say yes to processing your emotions? Are you ready to say yes to being uncomfortable? Saying yes to putting yourself out there and trying new things? Saying yes to failure? Saying yes to opportunities that feel scary? Saying yes to embracing all of you, the good and the bad? Saying yes to believing that it's okay not to be perfect, and yes to being human. Saying yes to feeling love for everyone in your story, including yourself. Saying yes to aligning yourself with who you really want to be and with who God created you to be. And then deliberately and intentionally choosing that. I have said yes more in the last 5 years than ever before. I've learned so many things because I've been willing to say yes, even when I was afraid to. Saying yes has included feeling uncomfortable and maybe even a little embarrassed. It's included embracing failure, knowing that it really isn't failure, but learning if I keep trying. Saying yes to progressing, improving, and becoming. And saying yes to loving and accepting myself through the process. I truly believe that when we can access the wisdom and beliefs from our future self, while also learning what to say no to and what to say yes to, is the key to real growth and joy. I'm not saying that I'm perfect in this process of protecting and being intentional, but it's something I found is worth practicing. So I ask you, have you paused to consider what your priorities and values and desires are for 2024? What could your life look like by the end of the year if you could begin to honor and protect these now? We are all creators. It's in our DNA as children of God. We are always either intentionally or unintentionally creating. We are always creating. So what do you want to create on purpose in 2024? I invite you to consider the following. What is one thing that your future self believes that she could share with you to help you as you move through 2024? Is there something in your life that you could begin saying no to this year? Is there something you could begin saying yes to in 2024? What opportunities are you willing to lean into, even if it means feeling uncomfortable in 2024? What do you want to create in 2024? Applying these 3 parts of the pause principle has changed my life. Pausing to process the emotions that we all experience. Pausing to ponder what matters to me, what's important to me, and then pausing to protect those has allowed me to embrace that I'm not in a midlife crisis, but in a season of awakening. This has become my mantra. This has become my belief, and I'm fully embracing it. I've discovered that it's never too late to awaken and remember who you are. It's never too late to learn new things. It's never too late to live a life you love. It's never too late to create a season of awakening, and it can be so beautiful. So I invite you to take some time to pause this in the next few weeks. Pause as you enter this new year. Pause to process, to ponder, and to protect as you create an amazing 2024. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you hear, I would love it if you would share it with your friends and family and leave me a rating and review. If you'd like to learn more about what life coaching is, please schedule a free discovery call with me where we can work together through something that's causing you a problem. Just go to my website, seasons-coaching.com, and you can also find information about my Seasons of Joy one-on-one coaching program and my Seasons of Joy community. Have a joyful week, and I'll see you next time.